Sheriff Todd Baxter, employees of the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, District Attorney Sandra Doorley, employees of the Monroe County District Attorney's Office, Judge Alex Renzi, New York State Supreme Court, Paul C. Metzler, James Maloney Jr., Pathtown Court. My name is Chris Chichester. I live in Rochester, New York. I have been an innocent man in jail 6 times. 6 times a prosecutor in Todd court. I'm convicted on paper by lies. This is the Freedom of Information Law, dated this August 1st, 2024, that I sent to your offices today via Federal Express. So you'll have it on Monday. I'm going to read this. I had prosecutors to silence Perry Duckles, Mark Monahan, Elizabeth Buckley, Michelle Crowley at the District Attorney's Office. And your corrupt, psychopath, freak boss, District Attorney Sandra Doorley, doesn't know if she's a Democrat or Republican, for 4 years has looked right at this document and refused. It is insane for a district attorney to refuse to tell a defendant in a courtroom the identity of a prosecutor. Insane. So who is it? You know who knows that's not in your office, that's returning my mail? Is the $140,000 public defender, Julie Sianka, who's in fear of you freaks and sociopaths at the District Attorney's Office. She works for you, Julie Sianka, at the District Attorney's Office. So August 1, 2024. This will be arriving. I sent this already. I got the receipts. August 1, 2024, Sandra Doorley, District Attorney, 47 South Fitch Street, Rochester, New York, 14614. 1 year ago, on August 1, 2023, I contacted your Office of Freedom to demand you disclose the names of prosecutors that violated my civil and constitutional rights. You refused to honor the law, and you refuse today. Why? It is insane to refuse. The language on the attached Freedom of Information Law documentation dated August 1, 2024, 1, quote, documentation for the case of Christopher Charges for John P. Menzel Jr. Pathtown Court was named the prosecutor, District Attorney Sandra Doorley, end quote. 2, quote, documentation for the case of Christopher Charges for Paul C. Metzler Pathtown Court was named the prosecutor, District Attorney Sandra Doorley, end quote. 3, quote, documentation for the case of Christopher Charges for Alex Renzi, New York State Supreme Court was named the prosecutor, District Attorney Sandra Doorley, end quote. Mail and answer on prosecutor silence the address block. Resigned freak. Christopher Charges to 130 North Winton Road, box 10651. Rochester, New York, 14604. Copy 2. Sheriff Todd Baxter, Trinity Ross, United States Attorney for Western District, New York, Alex Renzi, New York State Supreme Court, Paul C. Metzler, Pathtown Court, James Maloney Jr., Pathtown Court, Perry Douglas, Monroe County District Attorney's Office. Resulting one, $210,000. Renzi looked at this. His thought is, I want to send this Christopher Charges to jail. Because he knows that he can just send me a document in the mail. I'll show up and declare me guilty and ram me to jail. How's that constitutional? Because he's already done this to me. Because you freaks and sociopaths. Sandra Doorley or somebody else like Perry Duckles called Alex Renzi. And then they concocted a document to force me in front of him, and now I'm in Monroe County Jail. It's that easy to be in jail. So, this is going to arrive, and it has arrived repeatedly. This is the payroll for the District Attorney's Office. Documentation for the case of Christopher Charges for John P. Menzel Jr. in Pathtown Court. What is the name of the prosecutor? District Attorney Sandra Doorley. The freaking sociopath is still at the District Attorney's Office, and it's not Julie Hahn. Then it's right here. Is this Julie Hahn or not? Who's on Monroe County Court with 17% when she loses by 14 points. I look right at her before John P. Menzel Jr. No, one word. Because my prosecutor's never talked in court. Who is it if it's not Julie Hahn? Documentation for the case of Christopher Charges and Paul C. Metzler Pathtown Court was the name of the prosecutor, District Attorney Sandra Doorley. This boy in his 3-piece suit will walk right up to him in Pathtown Court and say, "You're going to stand there in total silence, not talk?" He stood straight ahead staring at Paul C. Metzler. Because his job is just to force me in there so she could declare me guilty, and he doesn't want any public record of saying anything. That's why. That I could use upon him. If he would have talked, I would be talking right now about what he said. But it's impossible for this boy, just like all my prosecutors, in open court to talk and accuse me of crime. That's impossible. Who is it? What's this boy's name who delivered me to Livingston County Jail in Geneseo? Perry Duckles, Mark Monahan, Elizabeth Buckley, Michelle Crowley. What's his name? So, third one here. Documentation for the case of Christopher Childress for Alex Renzi in New York State Supreme Court. What is the name of the prosecutor? District Attorney Sandra Doorley. The person that forced me into here concocted that document 15 months ago to get me in front of him so he can remand me to Monroe County Jail. And who is it? So, tell me who it is. I have 5 minutes now. It's my address, 130 North Road, Road, Box 10651, Rochester, 14604. And what's going to happen to me, you freaks and sociopaths, you revolting fucking degenerates at the district attorney's office, you're going to send me a document, the same thing's going to happen to me again. We're just going to force me down to Renzi or somebody else, and we follow, track, and stalk, put the handcuffs on me, take me to jail, and I'll in jail again. So, who is it? Tell me who it is. Payroll for the sheriff's office. Got Corey Brown, Michael Fowler on here. Michael T. Fowler, 163-877. When I contact Thomas B. Ginapple, I'm going to tell him that Michael T. Fowler is paid $31,000 more than Todd Baxter. Corey Brown, 155-366, paid $23,000 more than Todd Baxter. The boss everywhere should always make the most money. When I worked on Capitol Hill for Congressman Morris Smith of Texas, nobody made more money than Congressman Smith. When I worked on Capitol Hill for Senator Lippy Snow, nobody made more money than Senator Snow, the staff. When I worked for Governor George Pataki in Albany, nobody made more money than the governor. When I worked for Senate Majority Leader Ralph Marino, nobody made more money than the Majority Leader. Staff doesn't make more money than the boss. At the sheriff's office, where the duly elected sheriff is paid $132,000, he's got two of his employees paid significantly more money than him. This is why he's a psychopath. So, criminal complaints are attached to the PDF here. I'm not going to read these again. I'll just say the names: Richard J. Seidman, Nayra Shah, Lulu Kumar Shah, Tony Spine, War Round, all criminals. So, Michael Houlihan. So what is coming along with this document, I filled out, you can see my handwriting here. My handwriting right here. Who's the prosecutor for John Pimenzo Jr.? My handwriting here. Who's my prosecutor before this bald-headed $28,000 widow, Paul C. Messer? Who is it? My handwriting again. You exalted one. Who is it? You know who it is. Right here, August 28, 2023, this says names. I go on here for 500 words. I was on YouTube on that August 28th. This public defender needs to be removed as the public defender. When I contact the Sheriff Roman at the Monroe County Legislature, I'm going to send her this. August 1, 2023, Julie Sianka goes to here. I think that's 600 words there. 1 year ago to that. And then 2 graphs. I'm on TikTok links here. This TikTok link here is about how Richard Seidman, violence, Sheriff Todd K. Baxter, and 75904 Richard J. Seidman. That's on YouTube. Corruption and Fanaticism by Paul C. Messer. So 1 year ago in that August 1, you can see $140,000 Julie Sianka. August 1, 2023, there's your name. I'm telling you, disclosing names of my prosecutors 1 year ago today and you refuse because you're a corrupt hack. That's why. Perry Duckles, the other corrupt hack. August 1, here's all your email addresses up here. Perry Duckles, Michelle Crowley, Elizabeth Buckley, Mark Monahan, Mark Phillips when he was still at the public defender's office. 1,000 words goes on here. I have prosecutors assigned before Pathtown Court Judge John P. Lorenzo Jr., Pathtown Court Judge Paul C. Metz, New York State Supreme Court Judge Alex Renzi. You, Perry Duckles, is an officer of the court, a graduate of law school. Read this 1 year ago today and blew me off. Why? I can't get into someone's mind. I hesitate to do that, even though I will. I told you right here, I've been violently attacked by 75904 Richard J. Seidman, Sheriff's Office, Penn Public Library. Stalked me into the library, ran at me, slammed his arm on the side of my head, and I go in there from there. He attacked me and placed me in front of Paul C. Metz, and then I'm driven out of Monroe County to Livingston County Jail in Geneseo. How's that constitutional? What am I doing in the county I don't live in? Is that constitutional? Thomas J. Doorley is the sheriff of Livingston County. What am I doing there? So, this arrived 1 year ago today. Just like on July 16, 2023, I talk about unconstitutional. About what I just said. For this 30 plus minutes here, unconstitutional on July 16, 2023, I'm talking about being violently attacked and stalked at the library and then driven out of Monroe County. So, is that constitutional or not? I will hesitate to say something's unconstitutional because if Roe v. Wade is constitutional since 1973 and the destruction of a human being is constitutional, then anything can be constitutional. So, then on this July 15th, this arrived repeatedly at the District Attorney's Office, Sheriff's Office. Todd Baxter does not matter to Todd Baxter at all that Richard J. Seidman is a violent freak. Because right here on this July 15th, Todd Baxter, Sheriff, 130 South Plymouth Avenue, Rochester, New York, your violent psychopath employee, 75 model for Richard J. Seidman, stalking at the Penn Public Library. I stood at the computer terminal. Seidman ran out and he slammed his arm on the side of my head. I fell backwards. My head hit the ceramic tile floor. This violence is relevant to you. You embrace violence because your fellow psychopathic criminal will not be fired. When I write a criminal complaint that I have details about this assault by Seidman, he will not be arrested or prosecuted. Nothing will happen to your taxpayer-subsidized sociopath that must undergo an immediate mental health examination. He will attack other innocent citizens. Did you order Seidman to stalk me into the library? Were you informed about his disgusting predatory behavior? Did you have no knowledge about his fanaticism and refused to answer resign? Christopher Child just not copied here. If Zachary Baxter or Kevin Baxter, the sons of Todd Baxter, were attacked in a public place like a library by a psychopath cop, Todd Baxter would be enraged about that, and so would his wife, Mary Baxter. The lives of others don't matter to Todd Baxter at all. Is Richard J. Seidman still employed? I'll guess. I don't know. I don't have certainty. But when I acquire payroll again, I want to see if Richard J. Seidman's received a raise from $75,904, or if his salary is still the same. Because then I'll know he's still employed. If his name is not on there, then I'll know that either he left voluntarily or he was terminated. I don't know. So, July 13th, 2023, over a year ago, I'm telling you again, using the Freedom of Information Law, Sandra Doorley looks right at this. This is why she's a corrupt freak. This is why she has to be under investigation. Lily Fitzpatrick, the District Attorney in Onondaga County. Perry Douglas, I'm telling you here on this July 10th, 2023, over a year ago. All your emails are up there at the District Attorney's Office. The names I've already mentioned. You're refusing to answer. Matrix on this July 10th. You don't know you're in a matrix. It's just a perfect word for where you exist at that District Attorney's Office, Sheriff's Office. You're in an alternate reality is what a matrix is. That's where you reside. So, apply 26 Freedom of Information Law documents dated July 10, 2023, you sociopaths. This information includes mailing names by prosecutor's house, the address 620 Park Avenue, listed below the name you refuse. So, I got a new address. The United States Postal Service box. This was UPS. So, who is it? You know who it is. Here's your name again, Perry Douglas. The same July 10th, Perry Douglas again. Apply with attached Freedom of Information Law documents, mail names by prosecutor's house, the address below, and you refused. It's insane to refuse. I've seen here, where's my Chromebook? You 40 plus pounds overweight, Lee LaRoque. July 6, 2023, I'm seeing tell you 40 plus pounds overweight, $97,000 fellow psychopath that is Lee LaRoque to mail my Acer Chromebook. The address is below my name, Sheriff Baxter. What do you fail to understand about what I told you to do, you body switching people in Mussolini train wreck? My Chromebook is still at the Sheriff's Office. Do you not know where it is? Lee LaRoque's Sheriff's Office. I copied you on here. I hope I have the email right. Employees of the Sheriff's Office, Scott Alberti, William Tadeo, Michael Riley, if you're still there at $0. My Chromebook, my personal property, is at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office because this 40 plus pounds overweight donut eater, Lee LaRoque, took it out of my residence. And what's the probable cause? Does that matter to you, officers of courts? Perry Douglas, Mark Bonahan, Liz Buck, Michelle Crowley? That the Sheriff's Office went in to my residence, took my Chromebook out and hasn't returned it to me? There's no probable cause to take my Chromebook out of the residence. Where is it? This is why you're in Jonestown at the Sheriff's Office, the District Attorney's Office. Can I say, where's my Chromebook? It doesn't matter. On this June 21st, same thing, Todd Baxter, Sandra Doorley. I'm on YouTube here, Perverse Silence. Tell me your names when I cross your silence. So on August 1st, I hope this will arrive On this August 1st or in the early morning hours of August 2nd, the lunatic fringe of Todd Baxter calling his mental health bureaucrats on me. It's right here. That's a camera surveillance device. Public defender sent me a lens to watch myself on it. Todd Baxter lies about this because he is a compulsive liar. He'll lie about anything. I've been on this thing. This is 2033 Penfield Road for a business called Consumer Insights. Using cameras on me because this freak Nayraj Shah that lived with his mother. This is fanaticism. I'm coming back from Gold's Gym. There's two of my neighbors walking through that parking lot. They're not arrested. Where's my protection of laws? Shah lives over here with his mother. I'm up here. My back is turned. I hear screaming. I turn around and have this vicious confrontation with Shah. I tell him he's a psychopath and frank. I tell him that people walk through his park lot all day long. As I'm walking away, I give him the official finger book on New York. You employees at the sheriff's office can walk through this park lot anytime you want. You won't be arrested. If I left where I live on Park Avenue in Rochester and went to Penfield and walked through this park lot and this psychopath named Ryan Shaw saw me, I would be arrested. Do you understand the extremism I'm talking about? Perry Douglas, Morgan Monahan, Elizabeth Buck, Michelle Crowley, or not? I'm the only citizen in Monroe County. I'm the only citizen in the entire state of New York to be arrested for walking through this parking lot. Does the 14th Amendment apply to me? Or is that just a post-Civil War amendment that means nothing? He is evil, this Nayraj Shah, this 50-year-old mother's boy. That's some thinking problems in life that you living with your mother. This photograph is why you're a fanatic. This photograph is why you're extremist. This photograph is why you're a liar. This photograph is why I'm Notre Dame and your $67,000 disgusting hack Shannon Myers. This photograph is why people hate the police. It's right here. Let's call this surveillance device. Public defender sent me links. He'll still lie about it. He'll lie about it by total silence, or he just will refuse to answer questions. Todd Baxter. He's constantly refusing to answer questions. Nayraj Shah, lives with his mother, thinks that the psychopath cops at the sheriff's office should come to my residence to demand my dog. I've talked about that repeatedly. Todd Baxter, this is not a document that proves land ownership. This is what gets the sheriff's office the first time to come to my residence to demand my dog. I'm walking right on this area right here. This is nothing. This is not a document that proves land ownership. This is the property without land ownership. I'm just using property in a general way. That was behind my residence at 26 Sandra Farm Drive in Penfield. I'm right on this land that has no ownership. With my dog, the back window flies open. A woman is screaming at me. Half hour later, the sheriff's office there. This is what Shah sent me. This proves nothing. When I bought my house in the town of Gilderland in Albany County in 1997, my realtor Gloria gave me a notarized sealed document that said that I own the land on cul-de-sac at 4060 Georgetown Square in Gilderland, New York. And this is nothing. This is nothing. Now pay attention, freaks and sociopaths. Even if he has documentation that proves land ownership, would he come to my house to demand my dog? He thinks that nothingness proves that he owns this land right here. The guy in his tractor would come by here. Shannon Meyer told Steve Desert, Brock Coltrane, and Longcat to ride his tractor by my residence. I came outside. I said, nobody owns the land. Walk back to my residence. Because Timothy Murphy can't confirm there's any land ownership here. And even if by some miracle there's a Vatican intervention and there is land ownership, it's not a crime to tell a man on his tractor named Steve Desmond, nobody owns the land next to where I lived and walk back to my residence. That's not a crime, which I've said to Todd Baxter directly to his face. And there's nothing from him. There is no there with Todd Baxter. Todd Baxter does not exist in his mind. Because the blue wall silence is being used to protect his freak cop, Shannon Meyer. That's why. So, on this November 15th, I'm telling you to disclose the names I prosecute, silence mail names I prosecute, silence the address list of below District Attorney Sandra Doorley. If she read this, because the card came back to me. November 15th. Do you not understand the language I just said? I'll repeat this. Mail names I prosecute, silence the address list of below District Attorney Sandra Doorley. Again, my two favorite words apply to Sandra Doorley: corrupt and freak. The corrupt freak district attorney looks at this and refuses. It's a taxpayer-financed public proceeding. The prosecutor is a taxpayer-financed public employee. I'm being delivered to a taxpayer-financed jail. Who's doing this to me? So, disclosure for Perry Uncles and Julie Sianka. You Perry Uncles serve at the pleasure of Sandra Doorley, and you've been there since 2003. I'll guess you're not going to be fired anytime soon. You won't be fired, and you can stay there as long as you want. She serves at the pleasure, is Julie Sianka of the Monroe County Legislature. And she's still returning my mail to me. She's still refusing to tell me who my prosecutors are for $140,000. She makes more money than you. Perry Uncles, Julie Sianka, attached in PDF for 17 Freedom of Information Law documents dated May 7, 2024. You receive the language in my documentation via Outlook.com account on May 5, 2024. I'll send this May 7, 2024 documentation to District Attorney Sandra and Sheriff Todd Baxter, registered from her return receipt. One of these taxpayers subsidized civil servants will refuse to open the envelope. That's right. It was Todd Baxter. His hearing is right here. Sheriff of Monroe County refusing to open his mail. This comes back to me over and over. Again, Todd Baxter refusing to open his mail. Criminal complaints are in here. Those criminal complaints are in there by Richard C. and Michael Houlihan. Todd Baxter again. He's using taxpayer dollars to return my mail to me where he's ignoring criminal acts, such as my landlord, 80-year-old Antonio Espada, locking me out of my residence. This lie here is Shannon Meyer. This gets me in Monroe County Jail. This document right here, that's a lie. I've talked about repeatedly. This is a false instrument by Nayraj Child. I'm not going to talk about this little dark here. I'm going to get a clearer copy. Then we'll respond to this again. I already have responded to this once. I took every sentence from this lie here about this parking lot that I've walked through 4,000 times, which means Todd Baxter thinks I'm New York's 4,000th time criminal because there's a warrant for my arrest by this psychopath and freak and fucking degenerate Shannon Meyer, who was paid $67,000 when this ludicrous warrant was concocted, I should say, not written, and he gave her a $16,000 pay raise. Because the lies of others don't matter to Todd Baxter. Every single one of these freaks that's obliterating me with these concocted criminal charges received a raise. Including Andrew Reale. How's that charge with harassment second? Sitting in the backseat of Andrew Reale's police vehicle. I'm not going to go into that. That's really nauseating and disgusting. Just like these freaks at Penn Court are nauseating and disgusting. I have not opened this up yet. This is the list of defendants. Is everybody guilty, policy matter? So I'm going to write a different foil. How many defendants at Penn Court have been acquitted? No jail time, no obligation. You just dismiss the charge and acquit people. That's how dangerous this little disgusting freak show room is. Employees at the district attorney's office. There's no jury 12 in there. There's no witness box for testimony. It's not a table for a prosecutor to sit at. It's not a table for a defense attorney, public defendant to sit at. It's an assembly line of guilt in there. This room is an abomination. And you've been in there, Elizabeth Buckley. And if you don't conclude that this room is an abomination, I'm not surprised at all, Super Life Elizabeth Buckley been there since 2007, because you love the fact that this $28,000 bald-headed widow policy matcher is just there as a rubber stamp of guilt for any defendant you want to declare guilty. Elizabeth Buckley, Director of Local Courts. And one of the names of my prosecutors, Elizabeth Buckley. The corruption in this county. When I say Elizabeth Buckley, what are the names of my prosecutors? This is not the first time I've said that to her, because on this January 5th, 2024, what it says right here, disclosure for Chief of Local Courts, Bureau Elizabeth Buckley, January 5th, 2024, and go on here with 1,000 words. You all got this up here. I'll just read the first graph to Elizabeth Buckley. For 4 years, I've used the Freedom of Information Law to demand your boss, District Attorney Sandra Doorley, disclose the names of District Attorney's Office employees assigned by manufactured court appearances. I've written this document 2 sentences 100 times. Every single time your boss has refused to disclose the identities of these taxpayer subsidized fanatics that have delivered me to jail 6 times in Monroe County Jail, Rochester, New York, Livingston County Jail, Geneseo, New York, in total silence. I prosecuted silence, unable to utter one sentence, one word, one syllable, or one sound in Penn Court, New York State Supreme Court. How am I jailing prosecuting talking court, Elizabeth Buckley? Elizabeth Buckley read this, if in fact she read it. This first graph. Unable to utter one sentence, one word, one syllable, one sound. And it doesn't matter to her. It's totally irrelevant. Just like it's irrelevant to this Chief of Grand Jury Bureau, Michelle Crowley, who indicts me because of Michael Luan lying under oath when I don't know the grand jury's convened. And since I don't know the grand jury's convened, I can't testify before the grand jury. Why don't you call me to the grand jury, Michelle Crowley, and you're ignoring the fall I've written over and over? I'm going to write that again in the next 7 days about when this grand jury was impaneled, how many grand jurors are there, who testified before the grand jury, and most important, Michelle Crowley, is there a transcript or not? Doesn't matter, you freaks and sociopaths. Pretrial Service Corporation, why do I have to call Jamie Belliard? I believe I know the answer, because Alex Renzi wants to hold this above me so he can just easily return me to jail. So we can say, you didn't contact Pretrial Service Corporation, so I'm going to remand you to jail. Pretrial Service Corporation, 1, I don't have a trial scheduled. So why do I have to call Pretrial Service Corporation? 2, is this not a government bureaucracy that I have to contact? Do I have to contact a bureaucracy that's not funded by taxpayer dollars to stay out of jail? And what's the answer? I'm in total oblivion about this. There are things I could guess, and I'll say it's a guess, and I could be right or wrong. And there are things I have no idea, and this is one of them. The 1984. This document I'm holding up in my hand here is 1984. This is George Orwell right here. Pretrial Service Corporation. Which you freaks and sociopaths, district attorney's office, are unable to identify 1984. So, the no money district attorney, she's totally flat broke, and she's been employed at the district attorney's office since 1992. She doesn't even have a house declared on here. I don't know what to think about this. I'm not an accountant. I'm not an actuary. I've looked at this repeatedly. It is bizarre. It is oddball. This is an oddball document from District Attorney Sandra, but she sent it to me. Sheriff Baxter asked for an extension. Why? He is a liar. He will lie about anything. The compulsive liar freak sheriff of Monroe County. Where's the financial disclosure? I'm about to contact State Control Thomas B. Dapple. I'm going to send him this document here. And I'm going to say to State Control, because Todd Baxter refusing to send his financial disclosure document to me is not a surprise. But I'm going to say to the State Controller that the sheriff is refusing to send me his financial disclosure document because he's nervous and worried about what it's going to show, such as how he's making car commercials and what's the payment he's received for making these car commercials. Has the sheriff been paid by this car dealer for making car commercials or not? Because the financial disclosure would show that. And when I contact State Controller Thomas B. Dapple, I have to think about the name of the car dealer. I cannot recall it off the top of my head. I'm trying to do that right now. I will say to State Controller Thomas B. Dapple, the Sheriff Todd Baxter appeared in a car ad, and the only reason why he's going to be in a car ad is he's getting paid. And I'm going to say to State Control, I want to see the sheriff's financial disclosure so I can see what the payment was. There is no doubt about it that the sheriff of Monroe County received private money from a car dealer to be in a car commercial. And a financial disclosure would show that. Now, there was some delay in when you have to report monies. And I don't know if Todd Baxter filed a financial disclosure and the current financial disclosure is not going to show what he received if in fact it was payment from his car dealer. He's not doing it for free. There's no doubt about that. Sheriff doesn't appear in a car ad for free. So what was he paid? Michael Rabbit, Kathleen Miller, William Tadeo, Scott O'Brien. Does it matter? Aren't you concerned about your boss profiting from his position as the sheriff? And when he's making his car dealer ad, when he's talking to these people, when he's having negotiations with these people, he's not focusing on the crime that's crashing down on Rochester, New York, and making this an impossible city to live in. He's deciding to enrich himself because he's corrupt, because he's a psychopath, because he's a freak. Do you not agree with that, Todd Thurston? The sheriff's office, you and your $82,000 salary? You, Todd, can't be in a car commercial. How many people really know who you are? The car dealer doesn't know you, $82,000 Todd Thurston, because you're not the sheriff. And the car dealer doesn't want anything from you. That's the other thing. It's not only the payment that the car dealer is giving to Todd Baxter. There's also other things going on here, where the car dealer wants to ingratiate himself or herself to the sheriff. And these are the types of sleazy relationships that are everywhere in Monroe County. So, flat broke District Attorney Sandra Doorley. Salary, $210,000 salary, is District Attorney, and that's it. You, Todd Baxter, received money from this car dealer or elsewhere in addition to your $132,000 salary. He doesn't think he has to answer anything from anyone. Sheriff of Monmouth County. So, who is it? Who's doing this to me? At your repulsive shack, district attorney's office? I had prosecutors of silence. You're going to refuse every single time to tell me who it is. It's insane for a district attorney to refuse to tell the name of a prosecutor to a citizen. And why is that? Because District Attorney Sandra Doorley is corrupt. That's why. So, these are the part-time rates here. Todd Baxter had the children of Monmouth County Sheriff Office employees on the payroll. Again, when I contract the state patrol time, if I'm speaking athlete, I'll say why. So right here, this is the last thing I'm going to talk about here. Christopher J. Wotus, $29. Timothy G. Lewis, $30. Tobia Toscano, $29. These are the children of Monmouth County Sheriff's Office employees, the part-time rates. You refuse to tell me every single time because you're corrupt. This is the Freedom of Information Law. I'm going to use this upon you relentlessly until you achieve disclosure. You refuse to tell me the names of my prosecutor's silence, District Attorney Sandra Doorley, because you are alienated from life, the truth, and justice. My name is Christopher Chichester. I live in Rochester, New York. I have been, and this is mad.